Today there is a message, not from the voice of man, but from the heart of the Most High, a message prepared for you, chosen one, not by accident and not for everyone. For this is a word meant only for those who are ready to receive what heaven is now ready to reveal. The Lord has seen your path. He has watched as you endured seasons of silence, questions without answers, and the quiet ache of betrayal hidden behind gentle smiles. For a long time the truth was veiled, not as punishment, but as protection. You were not being denied, you were being prepared. But now, that season has passed. The angel assigned to you stands near, radiant with divine light, sent not to speak empty comfort, but to unveil truth, the kind of truth that frees. As it is written, then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. This is that moment. Someone in your life has walked in deception. Their intentions have been masked, their words carefully chosen, their actions shaded in grey. But heaven will not allow the shadow to remain. The time for clarity has come, and though this revelation may startle, even shake you, fear not. For your spirit has been strengthened for this very hour. You have grown in wisdom, in patience, in resilience. Every trial has forged in you a spirit that can stand. And now, with holy guidance, you will see clearly. The confusion will lift, the doubt will scatter, the emotional weight you didn't even realize you were carrying, it will be lifted. Picture your angel now, standing beside you, cloaked in light, unwavering. Not a dream, not imagination, but divine assignment. Sent to remove what blinds you and usher you into clarity, healing, and freedom. And so, chosen one, as you step forward into this divine revelation, declare your readiness. Let it be known in heaven and on earth that you accept the truth God is revealing. Type Amen in the comments if your heart is open, if your spirit is willing. And stay with this message until the end, because we'll close with a powerful prayer that will seal what has begun. The time has come. There comes a moment in every journey when what once felt safe begins to feel uncertain, when the faces once trusted start to blur, and the words once believed begin to lose their weight. In your life, there is someone who once held that place, someone who stood close, spoke kindly, perhaps even walked with you through dark days. They may have offered their hand when yours was trembling, spoken the right things when your spirit was fragile, made promises that sounded like shelter. But the time has come for a holy shift, and the truth, once wrapped in shadows, is now rising to the surface. The Lord does not reveal lightly, and He does not expose without purpose. This uncovering is not punishment, it is protection, it is preparation. For what is hidden cannot remain so forever, and the longer something false remains in the light, the more it begins to drain your strength, confuse your path, and cloud the voice of your own spirit. That is why, even now, heaven has begun to stir your awareness. You've felt it, not as a shout, but as a quiet discomfort, a hesitation in your soul, a sense that something is not quite what it seems. That sense is not paranoia, it is discernment, a gift the Lord gives to those who walk closely with Him. As Scripture says, but solid food is for the mature, who by constant use have trained themselves to distinguish good from evil. Hebrews 5:14. You have been training without realizing it. Every trial, every disappointment, every prayer that seemed to go unanswered has been refining your ability to see clearly, to know truth when it brushes against your heart. The person in question may not be overtly cruel. They may not have caused visible harm, but deception does not always wear a threatening face. Sometimes it hides in charm, in convenience, in emotional dependency. And though you may have clung to this relationship, whether out of loyalty, love, or fear of being alone, the Lord is now offering you something far greater: clarity. For He is not a God of confusion, but of peace. 1 Corinthians 14:33. And when peace leaves the room, that alone is a sign worth paying attention to. Consider the story of Ananias and Sapphira in the book of Acts. They appeared generous, Their actions looked holy, but their hearts were misaligned, and their deception, though hidden from the eyes of others, was never hidden from God. Their story is not about money, it's about motive, about how what we present on the surface means nothing if it contradicts what lives beneath. In your life, there may be someone whose presence has seemed good, but whose heart has not been for you. You deserve to know. You deserve to see clearly. You deserve to walk in relationships that are rooted in truth. This revelation may feel like a rupture. You may be tempted to question yourself, to wonder if you misjudged, if you missed something, if you're overreacting. But the Lord is not cruel. He does not allow the unveiling of hidden intentions to shame you. He allows it to liberate you. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Proverbs 27:12. What is being shown to you now is not meant to wound, but to warn, to protect your peace, your calling, your purpose. Perhaps you've already begun to notice the signs. Discomfort that lingers even after a conversation ends, a heavy feeling in your chest after spending time with this person, or words that sound supportive but never quite line up with how they treat you. That unease is not weakness, it is wisdom, and your angel, sent by the Lord to watch over you, has been gently guiding you toward this moment, not with fear but with assurance. Quietly, without grand gestures, this angel has stood guard, redirecting situations, delaying connections, stirring your heart to pause when logic said go. Every delay was protection, every interruption was mercy. You are not the same person you were when this relationship first began. You've grown, not just in age or experience, but in spirit. Your prayers have become deeper, your heart more anchored, your understanding more rooted in truth. That growth has made space for this moment. For only now are you able to carry this revelation with strength instead of fear, with grace instead of resentment. The Lord has brought you here because He knows you are ready. And yes, this may ache. It may sting to look at someone through the lens of truth instead of hope. But remember what the Lord said through the prophet Isaiah. I will go before you and will level the mountains. I will break down gates of bronze and cut through bars of iron. Isaiah 45:2. What feels like loss may actually be a gate opening, a prison door being broken, a path being cleared for something better, something sacred. So do not fear what is being revealed. Let the truth rise. Let the light shine into every hidden place. You will not crumble. You will not fall, because the one who holds you is unshakable. And this moment, even in its pain, is holy. You are stepping into freedom. You are stepping into wisdom. And nothing, absolutely nothing, will be able to shake what God has begun in you now. When truth enters, it does more than correct your vision. It awakens your identity. It shifts something far deeper than your opinion of someone else. It stirs the ground beneath your own self-understanding. Most people think revelation is about others being exposed, but heaven sees it differently. In the eyes of the Most High, revelation is about you remembering who you are and who you were always meant to be. There may have been seasons when you doubted your inner voice. You might have labeled your instincts as too much, too sensitive, too reactive, too guarded. To avoid conflict, you silenced yourself. To preserve connection, you carried burdens that were never yours. You tried to explain what you felt, but could not prove. And slowly, part of you learned to question your own knowing. But the Lord, who formed you in the secret place, did not leave you in the dark. The truth did not rush in. It waited for the moment you were strong enough to hold it. As it is written, "Call to me and I will answer you, and will tell you great and hidden things that you have not known." Jeremiah 33:3. And now that clarity has come, everything is shifting. What once looked like overthinking now feels like wisdom. What once stirred anxiety now brings calm. The fog is lifting, and with it, so is the weight of pretending. This moment can feel strange, even disorienting. You may find yourself less reactive, less eager to explain, less drawn to what once consumed your energy. This is not detachment, it is discernment. The storms that used to pull you in now pass by without shaking your center. Conversations that once required so much of you no longer demand your presence. This quiet distance is not coldness, it's healing. One of the most sacred changes in this season is the release of false responsibility. The pressure to fix what was never yours to carry begins to fall away. You no longer feel the need to mend what others keep breaking or to justify the truths your heart already knows. You begin to understand that connection, when not rooted in honesty, becomes an unspoken contract of self-sacrifice. Let what you say be simply yes or no. Anything more than this comes from evil. Matthew 5:37. That clarity teaches you to honor your boundaries without guilt. You realize that love is not proven through exhaustion. It's shown in mutual care, not endless explanation. And yes, there may be grief. Not because the truth is cruel, but because it confirms what you sensed long before you could say it. This grief is quiet, sacred, and real. It's the grief of letting go of illusions, of saying goodbye to the version of a relationship you wished existed. But let this grief rise without fear. It does not weaken you, it roots you. It prepares the ground for deeper truth. Remember the words from Ecclesiastes. There is a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. Ecclesiastes 3:4. This too is holy ground. With this shift in identity comes a realignment of what you value. You no longer chase charm, you look for patterns. You stop confusing intensity with connection. You are no longer impressed by loud declarations. You're drawn to quiet consistency, and in that, you begin to build a life that feels steady, not dramatic, solid, not performative. This clarity does not harden your heart. It protects it. It does not make you cynical. It makes you careful. Like Nehemiah, who rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem with one hand holding a tool and the other a sword. Nehemiah 4:17. You are learning to build and guard at the same time, and that is wisdom. As this transformation continues, you begin to feel an inner authority rising, a steady knowing that no longer seeks to be validated. You trust what God has shown you, you trust what you've survived, and you stop needing everyone to understand your decisions because you've made peace with your own. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Stillness is not passivity. It is confidence rooted in faith. Most of all, this change within you prepares the way for healthier, holier relationships. Because when you no longer bend to be accepted, when you no longer sacrifice your peace for approval, something incredible begins to happen. You attract what is aligned with who you've become. You start to see that peace is not a prize you earn by being less of yourself. It's the soil in which real connection grows. And so, chosen one, understand this. The revelation that entered your life was not just the removal of something false, it was the revival of something real. It was heaven's way of clearing the path, not just in front of you, but within you. What you carry now is not just truth, it is refined strength, quiet confidence, and sacred wisdom. You are no longer who you were before the truth came. You are someone wiser, deeper, and more free. And that is not a loss. That is the beginning of everything. This revelation is not a passing moment of awareness. It is a sacred threshold. You are not merely being shown a truth about someone else. You are being handed the key to walk through a door into a new kind of peace. A peace that does not depend on appearances or pleasing others or pretending not to notice what your heart has known all along. This is the kind of truth that doesn't just clarify your relationships, it purifies your spirit. The moment truth comes, everything begins to shift. Not all at once, but layer by layer, the fog begins to lift. And with that clarity comes a softness, a release, a healing. It may surprise you, even unsettle you, but do not fear it. For what feels uncomfortable at first is often the breaking of the chains you didn't know you were wearing. As the Lord said through the prophet Zechariah, "Return to your fortress, you prisoners of hope. Even now I announce that I will restore twice as much to you." Zechariah 9:12. Hope that was once buried beneath confusion is being restored, not through illusion, but through illumination. For a long time, holding on to a false image of this person may have seemed easier than confronting the truth. Maybe it brought temporary comfort to believe their intentions were good, that their kindness was real, that the inconsistencies were just misunderstandings. But the weight of that belief slowly began to press on your heart. The more you had to explain their behavior to yourself, the more exhausted you became. That's the cost of carrying something that is not rooted in truth. It drains you. But the Lord never intended for your spirit to carry that kind of weight. Cast your cares on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. Psalm 55:22. Think of Martha in the Gospel of Luke, busy and burdened, doing what she thought was right, serving and striving, while her sister Mary simply sat at the feet of Jesus, receiving. When Martha complained, the Lord replied gently, "Martha, Martha, you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better." Luke 10:41-42. You too may have been caught in the motion of doing, fixing, explaining, trying to hold everything together. But now you are being invited to stop striving, to sit in truth, to receive peace, not earn it. The burden of holding up a false connection is no longer yours to bear. This person, whether friend, confidant, or someone you once loved, presented you with a version of themselves they wanted you to believe. And for a time, you may have accepted it, not because you were naive, but because you were hopeful. You saw potential, or maybe you believed that love alone could make things whole. But love cannot grow where there is no honesty. Trust cannot survive in a place where intentions are hidden. And what the Lord is showing you now is not to hurt you, but to protect what is sacred within you, your heart, your calling, your peace. And yes, there may be grief. Grief not just for what happened, but for what never did, for the version of the relationship that could have been had truth been present from the start. That grief is holy. It's not weakness. It's not regression. It's the final release of the weight you've been carrying in silence. Let it come. Let it wash over you. Because grief, when held with God, becomes a gateway to grace. As this truth settles in, you may find yourself thinking differently. What once impressed you now seems hollow. What once drew you in now holds no power. This is discernment rising. This is wisdom claiming its place. You no longer need to justify what you feel. You no longer need someone else's approval to know what is right. For the Lord gives wisdom. From His mouth come knowledge and understanding. Proverbs 2:6. And what He has given you now is a clear view of what was once hidden. Perhaps this is the first time in your life you felt this kind of clarity, not loud, but steady, not dramatic, but undeniable. You're beginning to understand that peace is not something you must negotiate for or prove yourself worthy of. It is something you are allowed to live in, something you are called to guard. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. And to guard your heart, you must honor the truth, even when it means walking away from something that once felt safe. You will not be left in confusion. The Lord is not the author of chaos. He is a God of order, of light, of restoration. And while this season may feel like a tearing away, it is actually the beginning of rebuilding. On solid ground this time, on truth, on transparency, on love that doesn't ask you to shrink, perform, or carry emotional weight that does not belong to you. And slowly, as you embrace what is real, you will begin to notice the shift within. Your spirit will begin to feel lighter, your thoughts clearer, your boundaries stronger. You will stop over-explaining yourself. You will stop seeking closure from those unwilling to give it. And most importantly, you will stop blaming yourself for not seeing it sooner. Because now you know you weren't weak, you were loyal, you weren't blind, you were hopeful. But now you are free. And that freedom, this unseen gift of revelation, is preparing you for something greater. Relationships rooted in honesty, not illusion. Connections built on mutual trust, not dependency. Love that doesn't ask you to abandon yourself to be accepted. This is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of one written in light. Now that truth has begun to surface, it's important to understand that awareness alone is not the end. It is the beginning of transformation. Revelation is not just about what is shown to you. It's about how you carry it forward. You are being invited into a new way of living, one that moves with wisdom, not haste, one that responds with clarity, not reactivity. Truth is not given so you can confront others in anger. It is given so you can walk wisely in peace. In this sacred season, the first step is to slow down. The moment truth enters, there is often a rush of emotion, the desire to act, to speak, to fix, to understand everything at once. But wisdom does not race. Even the Lord, in his infinite power, created the world in 6 days, step by step, moment by moment. By wisdom, the Lord laid the earth's foundations. By understanding, he set the heavens in place. Proverbs 3:19. So too must you move forward with intention. Take quiet moments. Let stillness teach you what hurry cannot. Let silence make space for the clarity that words often drown out. Ask yourself simple questions, honest, quiet ones, not to judge others but to see clearly. Does this relationship nourish me or deplete me? Am I shrinking to stay connected? Am I heard or only tolerated? These reflections do not come from suspicion. They are acts of care for your soul. Next, learn to observe without accusation. Discernment is not suspicion, it is sacred awareness. Just as Solomon asked not for wealth or revenge, but for a discerning heart to govern rightly, 1 Kings 3:9. You are being invited to look deeper, not through fear, but through clarity. Watch how people respond when you are not convenient to them, when you set a gentle boundary, when you speak truthfully, or when you are simply not available. You do not need to challenge or confront. Truth has a way of surfacing in behavior. Let consistency speak. Let silence teach. Let actions confirm what words cannot always explain. Then comes the quiet courage of setting boundaries, not to punish, but to protect. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors with locks. You choose who enters and how far. You might choose to say less, to answer slower, to take longer pauses before responding. That is not rudeness, it is spiritual stewardship. Remember what the Lord told the prophet Ezekiel, I have made you a watchman, so hear the word I speak and give them warning from me. Ezekiel 3:17. You too are a watchman over your heart. You are learning to guard what is holy within you, and what causes confusion, exhaustion, or chronic unease. That is not neutral. It is information. It is a signal that something deserves your attention. Strengthen your inner life. Do not wait until you're overwhelmed to seek stillness. Even a few minutes of quiet can recenter you. And in that silence, don't ask for proof, ask for peace. As the psalmist prayed, search me, O God, and know my heart. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Psalm 139:23-24. This kind of prayer is not about controlling outcomes. It is about becoming deeply aligned with truth, within and without. And when you are rooted in that kind of stillness, you will notice something remarkable. Your reactions soften, your decisions sharpen, and your spirit no longer feels tossed by every interaction. As you do this, begin practicing emotional detachment, not from love but from illusion. You are not closing your heart. You are protecting it from false investments. You can be kind without being entangled. You can honor someone's humanity without ignoring their patterns. When Jesus sent out the disciples, he told them plainly, "Be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves." Matthew 10:16. That paradox is your calling too, to stay open-hearted without becoming wide open to harm. Forgiveness, when it arrives, is not an announcement. It is a quiet release, a decision not to carry bitterness into your future. You don't need to say it out loud, and you don't need to return to what broke you. As Paul wrote, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." Romans 12:21. Sometimes the greatest good you can offer is your own peace. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting what you've learned. It means carrying what you've learned with wisdom, not with weight. This clarity will begin to shape your everyday life. Slowly, you will feel drawn toward people who speak plainly, act consistently, and love without condition. You'll seek peace, not performance. You'll change small things: who you reply to, where you go, what you give your energy to. Peace is not the absence of chaos, it is the presence of alignment. When something or someone disturbs that alignment regularly, it's not judgmental to notice, it's responsible. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Colossians 3:15. Let peace be the filter, let it guide your steps, and through it all, trust the process of transformation. Revelation is not a crash, it is a rising. What feels like a breaking is often a building in disguise. This is not the end of connection, but the beginning of connection that is pure. Each time you respond with patience, each time you listen instead of react, each time you choose peace over performance, you are walking in maturity. You are learning to live as someone who sees clearly, chooses wisely, and walks lightly. Let this be a season of quiet strength, not loud declarations, not rushed decisions, but steady courage. Let your calm be your boundary. Let your clarity be your protection. The truth has come to you not to create chaos, but to make room for something better. And as you walk forward in this, you will discover that what truth brings is not loneliness. It is freedom, dignity, and a life that finally reflects the peace you were created to carry. And now, having received the truth and allowed it to settle within you, there comes the next sacred step in this journey: forgiveness. But not forgiveness as the world often portrays it, not as surrender, not as denial, not as an open door to be hurt again. True forgiveness, the kind birthed from heaven, is not the erasing of memory, but the releasing of the weight that memory carries. It is the moment when your spirit chooses peace over poison, freedom over resentment. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is strength. It is one of the clearest signs that you are no longer controlled by what broke you. When the truth comes to light, your heart may swell with anger, confusion, or even grief. These emotions are real, and they are allowed. But you were never meant to live in them. The Lord does not ask you to pretend nothing happened. Rather, He invites you to let go, not so that others may be excused, but so that you may be unburdened. As Paul reminds us, do not repay anyone evil for evil. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Romans 12:17-18. Forgiveness is the path to that peace, not because it forgets, but because it stops feeding what can no longer grow. Still, forgiveness must walk hand in hand with wisdom. You are not required to return to what wounded you. You are not called to restore what continues to deceive. If someone has proven themselves untrustworthy, you are under no spiritual obligation to invite them back into sacred places of your heart. The Lord himself warned his people to be wise and to guard what is holy. Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. Matthew 7:6. This is not about judgment. It is about protection. Protecting your spirit is an act of worship. It honors the life and peace you have been given. To forgive, then, is to loosen the grip of bitterness, but to protect your peace as a sacred boundary. It is to move forward with a clear heart and a cautious hand. You may feel led to speak less, to engage with more intention, to build new boundaries that hold firm without building walls. That is wisdom, and wisdom is not cold, it is deeply loving. It teaches you to honor yourself the way God already does. And through this unfolding process, know that you are not walking alone. The angel who has been silently guiding you through quiet warnings, inner stirrings, and divine protection is still beside you, closer than ever. In moments when the burden feels too heavy, when the emotions rise uninvited, your angel waits with strength, ready to comfort and instruct. Heaven does not abandon those in the midst of transformation. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them. Psalm 34:7. In your silent prayers, in your aching questions, your angel hears and responds, not always with answers, but with presence. Yes, this truth may have stung. It may have felt like a tearing at first, but what you are experiencing is not punishment, it is preparation. Something is being cleared from your life so that something better may enter. And that better is not just a new relationship or opportunity. It is a new state of being, a new way of living. It is the steady realization that you no longer have to carry confusion or wonder who is for you and who is against you. That weight is being lifted now. The Lord often clears out before he builds up. Consider how he led his people out of Egypt, not to wander, but to enter into promise. Yet before they stepped into the land flowing with milk and honey, the wilderness shaped them. It was in the wilderness that they learned who God was and who they were becoming. You may be in a similar season, a time of shedding what no longer serves, a time of learning how to walk, not in fear, but in trust. And trust, when practiced daily, becomes peace. This moment of revelation is not the end. It is the clearing before the dawn. The fog is lifting, the second guessing is fading, and in its place, a light is rising. A light that shows you the path forward, not cluttered by confusion, but paved with purpose. With this clarity, you are free to make decisions that honor your heart. You are free to walk toward people who value your presence, who meet you with respect, and who mirror the sincerity you've always given. You are entering a season not just of healing, but of becoming. The truth you now carry is not a burden, it is a compass. It is leading you toward relationships that are life-giving, conversations that are honest, and a future that is not built on illusion, but on integrity. And as you walk, you will notice your choices feel lighter, your soul feels quieter, your direction feels clearer. There will be moments, of course, when doubt tries to creep back in, when you wonder if this was really necessary, when grief visits again. Let it come and let it pass. The Most High is not rushed. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. Psalm 91, verse 4. Rest there. When things feel uncertain, remember that clarity is not a single moment. It is a process, and you are already walking it. So take heart. This is not the chapter where you break. This is the chapter where you rise. With each step, you are reclaiming space in your own life. You are no longer defined by who misunderstood you, by who could not meet you where you were. You are being redefined by the one who sees you clearly, who has always walked beside you, and who is now leading you into a future filled with light. When truth finally rises into view, it does not shout, it settles. And when it settles, the real journey begins, because the hardest part of truth is not hearing it, it's learning how to live with it. Many feel the first wave of revelation like lightning, sudden, undeniable, even liberating. But once the storm passes and daily life resumes, a different challenge appears. What now? The mind wants to return to what's familiar. The heart may question if it overreacted. Old patterns shaped by years of survival whisper that maybe it wasn't so bad, that maybe you imagined too much. But this is where wisdom begins to take root. Truth is not meant to be a single, emotional moment. It is meant to become a way of walking, of seeing, of being. To live with truth is to let it quietly rebuild your interior life. It becomes the lens you no longer ignore. You stop explaining away what your spirit recognized. You stop rewriting your memories to make someone else look better. You stop bending your intuition just to avoid discomfort. Instead, truth becomes still, like a stone laid deep in the foundation of who you are. It does not harden your heart, it strengthens it. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you, the Lord once said through Ezekiel. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. Ezekiel 36:26. Truth does not make you cold, it makes you clear. One of the first things to fall away is the internal conflict. Before truth came, part of you always knew, quietly, painfully, but another part tried to maintain peace, to make it work, to hold things together. That tug of war is exhausting. When truth is embraced, that inner split begins to dissolve. You feel aligned again, and though the world around you may still be noisy, your inner world becomes quieter, simpler, not easier, but honest. And honesty is peace. Even the past begins to shift. You stop scanning old conversations for hidden meaning. You stop wishing you had asked different questions or spoken up sooner. You begin to understand that you knew what you needed to know when you were ready to know it. Timing is not a failure, it's a form of grace. As the psalmist said, "The Lord is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. He remembers that we are dust." Psalm 103:8-14. God does not rush our knowing. He reveals when we can carry it, and so regret gives way to gentleness. Memories are no longer sources of torment, but part of the story that led you here, to clarity, to strength, to your own becoming. Living with truth also changes how you relate to the unknown. You stop needing every answer wrapped in closure. You stop pushing for explanations that won't arrive. You realize that some clarity comes in stillness, not confrontation. Some healing happens in quiet surrender, not dialogue. This doesn't mean you avoid reality. It means you stop demanding what others cannot give. You learn, as Job did in his suffering, that God does great things beyond our understanding and wonders without number. Job 9:10. You do not need to understand everything to rest in what you've already seen. This shift makes space for a new kind of presence. You begin to respond instead of react. You speak less from urgency, more from peace. Your silence isn't distance, it's discernment, and others notice. They see the steadiness, the calm, the soft edges where there once were raw nerves. This isn't detachment, it's refinement. Wisdom does not raise its voice, it settles deep. As this continues, you begin to trust the unfolding of your life. You stop forcing outcomes, you stop chasing answers. You trust that what belongs in your life will remain without striving, and what leaves was never meant to be held together by fear. And in this trust, your confidence grows, not loud, not demanding, but rooted, like a tree planted by water, unmoved by storms. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord. They will be like a tree planted by the water. Its leaves are always green. Jeremiah 17:7-8. Over time, you realize truth was never just about what was revealed. It was always about who you are becoming. You carry yourself differently. You feel when something is right or wrong and no longer doubt your inner knowing. You choose peace before persuasion. You stop performing. You live from the quiet center of truth. The world doesn't have to change for you to feel changed, because your relationship with it has. This is the hidden gift of revelation, not exposure, not revenge, not bitterness. but integration. Truth stops being a disruption and becomes a companion. It is no longer a heavy thing you have to carry. It becomes light, a guiding lamp. Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. Psalm 119, 105. And by that light you begin to walk, not with fear, not with haste, but with clarity, gentleness, and grace. You no longer need to prove what you've learned. You are living it, quietly, faithfully, fully. And in that living, you are free. And now, chosen one, as the light of truth settles into your being, you stand at the edge of something greater than clarity. You stand at the entrance of becoming. This is not merely about knowing what has been hidden. It is about being transformed by what is now revealed. The journey ahead will not demand performance, perfection, or proof. It will simply ask for presence, the courage to show up each day with a heart that is open, even if still healing, with a mind that seeks wisdom, not control, with a spirit that is anchored, not in outcomes but in obedience. You are learning that truth does not always speak in grand moments. It speaks in your quiet choices, in the peace you no longer trade for approval, in the boundaries you no longer feel guilty for setting, in the joy that returns, not all at once, but in steady waves. Truth becomes the soil, and from it, your new life begins to grow, slowly, quietly, faithfully. You may find yourself called to places you didn't expect, to serve in ways that require everything you've learned through this process. You may notice that your voice sounds different now, more certain, yet softer, that your silence carries more power than your old explanations ever did. This is the maturity that only revelation can build. It's what happens when healing stops being something you chase and becomes something you carry. And yes, there will still be moments of testing, times when old habits call you back, or familiar faces try to draw you into old roles. But now you have a new compass. You will no longer move from fear. You will not respond from guilt. You will choose based on what is aligned with truth, and that alignment is the evidence that you have changed. Remember, God never reveals without redeeming. Every truth you've received is a seed. It may not bloom all at once, but it will. The healing you walk in today will become shelter for someone else tomorrow. The clarity you now hold will become your gift to those still searching, and the freedom you've tasted will become a testimony, not because you shouted it, but because you lived it. So do not rush, do not shrink, and above all, do not return to what you've been delivered from. The wilderness was a passage, not a home, and your clarity is not a detour, it is direction. Stay the course, even when it feels slow, even when no one claps. Heaven is building something in you that will not be shaken. Those who look to Him are radiant, their faces are never covered with shame. Psalm 34:5. That radiance is yours now, not because everything is perfect, but because you are walking in what is real. Before we close today's message, I want to take a sacred moment to pray with you. Not just words spoken into the air, but a deep, quiet conversation between your heart and the heart of the Most High. Let this prayer meet you wherever you are, whether in stillness or in sorrow, in clarity or confusion. This is a space of peace, a space of truth, a space for you. Heavenly Father, creator of truth, giver of light, keeper of every hidden thing, until the appointed time, I come before you now on behalf of this listener, this chosen one, who has walked through shadows and silence, and is now standing at the threshold of something new. Thank you for their life. Thank you for their strength, even when they didn't feel strong. Thank you for every tear they cried in secret, and every prayer they whispered in the dark. You saw it all, you heard it all, and you never turned away. Lord, we thank you that truth is not a weapon you use to break us, but a light you use to free us. Thank you that you wait, not until we're perfect, but until we're ready. And now for this one, truth has come, not to destroy, but to heal, not to shame, but to awaken, not to scatter, but to bring home what was scattered within. God, you are the one who said, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." And we hold on to that promise now. We thank you that this freedom is not abstract. It is personal, it is emotional, it is spiritual, it is holy. And in this very moment, I pray that you would begin to pour that freedom into every hidden place in their heart. Where confusion once sat, let peace enter. Where doubt once grew, let discernment take root. Where they once silenced themselves to stay safe, teach them now to speak with clarity and boldness, but also with compassion and grace. Father, you see what others do not. You see the burdens this soul has carried silently, the pressure to perform, the fear of abandonment, the deep ache of being misunderstood. But you have not misunderstood. You have walked with them in every season. You were there when they sensed something wasn't right. You were there when they doubted themselves instead of doubting the deception. And you were still there when the truth finally rose. I ask now, Lord, would you bring comfort where there is grief? Not just grief for what happened, but for what never had the chance to happen. For the version of love that was longed for, but never received. For the promises that were broken not with violence, but with quiet betrayal. Wrap them now in the comfort that only your Spirit gives. As you once said through the prophet Isaiah, "As a mother comforts her child, so will I comfort you." Let that comfort settle over them like a gentle covering. And now, God, I ask for wisdom. Your word says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask, and it will be given generously, without finding fault." So we ask, give wisdom for what comes next, not just for what to say or do, but for how to live, how to walk wisely, how to set boundaries without building walls, how to forgive without returning to what harms, how to remain open to love without being exposed to deception. Give them the courage to walk in peace, even when others misunderstand their silence. Give them strength to walk away from what is misaligned, even when it still looks good on the surface. Teach them that discernment is not judgment, it is protection. It is how your Spirit leads. And for every relationship that is shifting or ending, God, we trust you to fill the space. Not with noise, but with meaning. Not with crowds, but with connection. Send relationships that reflect your character, those who are sincere, present, and true. And when the days feel quiet, remind this one that you are near. That even silence can be sacred when it's filled with your presence. Lord, we also ask for restoration, not a return to what was false, but a rebuilding of what is real. Rebuild their inner life, rebuild their joy, rebuild their sense of safety, their ability to trust themselves, their ability to trust you. Restore to them the years the locusts have eaten, the moments that felt wasted, the energy spent trying to hold together what was never meant to last. God, I ask that you would give them rest, not just physical rest, but soul-deep rest, that they would no longer live in emotional high alert, constantly bracing for the next disappointment. Let your peace settle into their bones. Let their home become a sanctuary. Let their heart become still, not because the world is quiet, but because you are present. Thank you for the angel you've assigned to walk with them. For the unseen hands that redirected harm, delayed the wrong connection, and stirred a holy pause in their spirit when logic said go. Thank you for divine protection, for divine timing, for divine patience. And lastly, Lord, let this not just be a moment but a marker, a new chapter, a holy beginning, not defined by survival but by freedom. Let them walk out of confusion and into clarity. Let them rise, not perfectly but honestly, not with fear but with faith. Let the truth become not just something they believe but something they embody. And let them always remember they were never behind, they were never broken, they were being rebuilt, carefully, lovingly, by your hand. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you for taking this sacred time to sit with truth, to breathe in peace, and to open your heart to what God is doing. If this prayer spoke to you, let it become part of your journey. Leave a comment below and write, "I choose to walk in peace." Let it be your public yes to the healing, the clarity, and the new season ahead. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe, because this space will continue to be a refuge for those walking through truth and into light. Until next time, walk gently, speak truth, and stay rooted in grace.